different versions. They have newer Paris.
They really do. There's a Paris in the northeast, and then New Paris is apparently not too far from where I live. It's just right on the border of Indiana. Oh my! That is a small town.
Hey, thank you, Sean, for helping me out. I admit to my stupidity, but I cannot help when iRacing alphabetizes its tracks by the dirt track. All right. Well, it's D, Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
I kind of get where you're coming from, because I kind of got confused when I first was looking for it.
I even went to dirt, though. I go, okay, I'll look under dirt. Maybe it's dirt.
Yeah, and that would be my instinct, too, is you would alphabetize it by the word after the, like most people do, but whatever.
All right. I'm good. I'm here. Yeah, the Milwaukee Mile
Is it really?
Yeah, the Milwaukee Mile.
This is what happens when something is organized by engineers.
Yeah, that's right. So is this place, is it on the grounds of Charlotte or
You can see it from the track.
yeah. See, I thought they just iRacing just let you throw dirt on the legends. That's what I thought was going to happen. This is one place.
Yeah. Say these are ugliest cars on iRacing.
They're made out of Legos. Let's put a plate here and a bottom plate there.
I was gonna say made out of Legos and made by like a 3-year-old that really doesn't understand them yet. This is what a car looks like. Schwartz is fast too.
Yeah. perfect day. Fastest in qualifying, winning his heat and the feature. But the competition has stiffened since then. Brendan Rodgers now is the man to beat, and real-world racer Alex Bergeron has been impressive, but a bit unlucky. Can Purdue match his earlier performance? Or maybe it's time for drivers like Chance Crum or Chad Wheeler to take home the main event hardware. Find out soon, as all the simulated dirt track action from green flag to victory donuts, all the heats, the semis, and the A-main can be seen live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Yes, indeed, there it is. It is the CSI Shocks Spring Season Championship from the Tar Heel State. Hello and welcome. Joe Peak joins your truly, Bill Soupson, way up in the press box to bring you our bird's eye view. Sean Crackers Ambrose has director duties armed with cameras provided by Ducky Beard. Joe, this series goes from one extreme to another, from the tight confines of the Chili Bowl to the wide open spaces here at Charlotte.
Oh yeah, the drivers will feel like they can really stretch out their legs, and not just on the track, but inside the cars. It's a good thing we're someplace wide because these modifieds will need all the space they can. However, the variable banking is both very shallow down at the bottom and pretty steeply banked up at the top. That means that even though this will be a fast track, finding speed on the low side might be kind of tough, at least until the top is pretty slicked off. Plus, it's got those nasty white tires down by the grass that will destroy your car if you get too greedy on the bottom line. Honestly, what struck me as the most unique thing about this track is it's sort of the reverse of most oval racing in America. This little 0.4 of a mile dirt oval was added in 2000, long after the paved 1.5 miler was built right next door. Typically, it's the other way around. A dirt track was built long ago and eventually converted to pavement. All in all, this will be a great addition to the calendar, and I expect the drivers should step up to the challenge this place provides.
It should be a fun event indeed as we close out the back third of this schedule. Let's go ahead and take a look at the points. Now, keep in mind that these point standings take into account the 2 drop races allowed for in the rules. To put it simply, it's a driver's best 5 of 7 results. And there's Brendan Rodgers. He sits atop all the drivers, having never been bested in a heat race, winning each of the 6 he has entered. Aiden Purdue is now 33 points back, and it's been 3 rounds since he's won the night. Corey Day is in 4th, and he's the only driver other than Rodgers and Purdue in that top 5 that has a feature win. Bookending day is Chance Crum from above and Chad Wheeler from below. Both of those guys still looking for their first main event title. A few other names to watch out for. We talked about Alex Bergeron. A couple new names. We saw Logan Rumsey appear last couple races. He's quick here today. And then watch out for this new guy, Craig Swartz. He's the fastest in practice. Let's go ahead and look at the hard charger. And there you see it. He races, he lives, he hails from a city that is in the shadows of the great California sequoia trees. That is Kobe Sidham down there from Fresno, California. He's now been tied by the youngster, Bryce Lucius, the 15-year-old Buckeye. Let me correct myself. I don't think he's only 12 years old as Bryce is on that one. Chad Wheeler, we talked about before, is a point back. So these hard chargers, very, very close indeed. And then there are 3 drivers that are tied for 4th. We'll give you those names when they start to spread themselves out next round. All right, we're always picking up new viewers, so let's turn it over to Joe to talk about the series details.
Absolutely. You mentioned it. We're getting pretty late in the season here with round 8, and we are in the UMP modified for the first time since Lanier. Now, the setups are fixed on these cars, so they don't have to worry about tweaking that to try to find something out of it. And as you can see, we're running heats, which will determine how we start the semifinals, and then the semifinals will determine who makes it to the A-main. And there's $2,000 in cash and prizes on the line for these drivers. Bill?
Last week we were indoors, so we had to ground the blimp, and we didn't really care much about the weather. Tonight, it's the way racing should be, out under an open sky. Joe, let's talk about how the temperature is here tonight.
It's 74 degrees, so it's nice and cool out on the track. So thankfully, the drivers should have pretty good conditions for racing, and it's very, very little wind today. So all in all, I'd say we got a great way to get things kicked off. But Bill, I think we're ready to take a quick break here.
All right, we'll be back in a few. talked
on the
about before
track,
is a
so
point back.
thankfully
These
the
hard chargers very,
drivers
very
should have
close
pretty
indeed.
good
And then there are
conditions
3
for
drivers
racing,
that are
and
tied
it's
for
very,
4th.
very little
Give me
wind
those
today,
names
so
when they start to
all
spread
in all, I'd
themselves
say
out
we
next
got
round.
great,
All right, we're always picking up new
way
viewers, so
to
let's
get
turn it over to
things
Joe to
kicked
talk
off.
about
Bill, I
the
think
series
we're
details.
ready to take a quick break here.
Absolutely. You
All right,
mentioned it.
we'll
We're
be back
getting
in a
pretty
few.
late in the season here with round 8, and we are in the UMP.
Racing's done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. You're good.
Post-race, and they say, well, they get out here for the warm-up, and then they go race, and not necessarily coming to do testing, which is one of the unique features that you can have here in iRacing. Is unlike the real world, it doesn't cost anything to just set up your own little test session, go out there and try to run some laps to see how the car feels. Now, granted, if I were in these drivers' positions, I would be doing that, but some people are just really comfortable with certain cars.
There's the man who won last time out in this vehicle, Aiden Perdue, as we ride off the nose of that. His familiar number 37. The driver you were looking at before, that was Craig Schwartz, out there in his car that is festooned with blue dragon flames for Schwartz. Racing his 02.
One of the things they'll have to watch out for here is you may have seen a couple cars already climb the wall a little bit. Now, even though these cars actually have fenders and things on them, unlike the sprints and the midgets that we've run in other rounds, I found in my practice, Bill, that it's very easy to get close to that wall, and if you tip it just right and the wheels catch it, suddenly the car's sideways because the wheels have gripped that concrete. And you can get upside down embarrassingly easy. So a few drivers might find themselves in their day early with a shiny side down.
Can we look at car number 13 real quick, Joe, and you can tell me what's going on here? Where is he? Is he just getting here?
Even I didn't manage to do that. Logan Rumsey somehow
Did he not buy a
figured
ticket?
out. Yeah. I'm not sure how he managed that. Must have really just hit it just right. But yeah, there are definite pitfalls around this track, and there are pitfalls involved with this car. It's definitely a specialist type vehicle. You need to really know how long the back end of it is, because it's longer than some of the other vehicles here in iRacing, and you can use it to try and get yourself around the corner, but it's also very, very easy to try and use that rear fender up against the wall. And like I said, it just tips you around, and next thing you know, you're smacking the wall.
Let's look at, we see those two drivers getting it better. Let's look at car number 4, this Alex. Oh, no, there's the 20 car getting up. That was James Anderchuk. There we go. Let's take a look at Bergeron in the number 4 machine. Real world driver with connections to the series sponsor. Already has a main event win this season. Was unlucky last time out.
Looks like he's trying out that very high line here in practice.
And that number 4 around. Maybe not the fastest line up high, but maybe just getting used to it. Might need it.
It's
nice
already
to have the bullet in the chamber. Go ahead.
Yeah, it is kind of already looking slicked up in that middle line that I was talking about earlier. At least in 1 and 2. 3 and 4, it isn't as slicked up. But otherwise, I can see why he's trying to go up to the high side.
Another driver, we can take a look at the 91. This is Jonathan Schafer. fourth fastest qualifier. He should be tough to beat.
Fourth fastest in practice, rather.
Fourth fastest,
Qualifying
yes, I
is
apologize.
just starting right now. I know, we're so used to just going right to qualifying with our coverage. Here we go.
Practice is done, and now we do go to qualifying. And of course, there is a prize for qualifying. Presented by Competition Suspension Inc. It's the Pit Logic QuickTime Award. Pit Logic is the most comprehensive chassis and shock setup application on the market. Available on Google Play or the Apple App Store. Check them out at competitionsuspension.com/CSI-logic-app.
One of the things you'll need to watch out for with these drivers, especially as they go searching around these lines, is it seemed to me that this car tends to bog down very easily, Bill. When you get into lower revs, it just doesn't have anything there. So you want to try and keep the revs up and keep the momentum going. So it's a momentum car, if you will.
We look at the 02 of Swartz, who was the fastest in practice, and he now sits fastest in qualifying as well. Purdue and Rumsey right behind him.
Rogers up at the top currently now. Corey Day's trying to challenge him for it. He's only 6/1000ths off, so it is very tight up at the front.
Remember, Corey Day sits within our top 5, has been quiet as of late. Sitting down there in first, but he does have a main event win.
Let's see how Rumsey's doing. Sitting in 6th position, and this is his last lap to try and improve. And oh, he's coasting, so he doesn't like it. I'm seeing a number of drivers with their laps discounted, and that can happen when you just tip the wall. You can get what in iRacing they call a 0x if you just barely touch the wall, and that's to prevent drivers from essentially using a little bit of a cheat, if you will, here in the sim world, where you try and use the wall to get a little bit of speed and do what they call rim riding. So that's why that's in place, to discount those laps. And unfortunately, it does mean that you got to be careful how close you run to the wall in these cars with qualifying.
About a decade ago, I saw Carl Edwards try that for real. Didn't work for him.
Bergeron's got this last lap to go, and he's in 4th. 16.39 currently, and he's certainly not going to go faster like that.
Nope, he's over on his lid. There we look at Ryan Forgot.
Yeah. Hasn't got a single lap in. He's still got plenty of time. Only 16-second laps around here, so you can wait to kind of see what other people do. Sometimes that can be really informative, even though you can't see them on track. If you can kind of see what pace they're running, that gives you an inkling of what to expect and what you can push out of the car. So there is an advantage to waiting until late.
We had 5 heats scheduled for today. Sometimes we have less depending on the car count. Not quite sure how many we're going to have. We'll know here in a minute as soon as qualifying is done and we'll lock in our grid.
Ooh, that one didn't count for him. And this one's definitely not going to count because he just touched the wall.
There's Evan Spalding, notorious for being a procrastinator when it comes to putting in a qualifying time.
Column also our last car trying to get one in. And his first lap still his fastest. Spalding takes his 3rd one. And thankfully, Spalding wasn't bouncing off the walls. He got all 3 of them clean.
There you go.
You didn't catch my Spalding pun.
I did. I was looking to see how long we went before we had our first choking pun. I'm just ignoring him from here on. Hey, there's Brendan Rogers just putting in a little bit of practice time. Everyone was able to put in a qualifying time. The surprise probably is Bryce Lucius, who was the slowest of everyone, putting in a 17.6. Our fastest time is 16.2 from Rogers. Corey Day, got to be happy with him, 2nd fastest qualifier. That'll put him on the front of one of these heats. The question will be, how many heats do we have? It matters. That depends whether Aiden Perdue will be sitting on the pole in heat number 5 or if he'll be teamed up with Brennan Rogers in heat number 1.
Well, a couple seconds, we'll find out as they're getting gridded up now. So, Bill, I believe we have a sponsor for this first heat.
We do indeed, as they come in for heat number 1. Brought to you by Joe's Racing Products. Funny how Joe Peak always wants me to make sure I get to this sponsor. Joe's Racing Products. They design and manufacture quality and innovation race products in the USA. Find out more at joesracing.com. And just a little bit closer, there is no connection between that sponsor and my partner, Joe Peak. Joe, what's our grid?
Well, Brennan Rogers is on the top, and Alex Bergeron is in second. Kobe Stidham will be starting in third. Parker Leak will be on the outside of row 2. Jonathan Schafer starts in P5, Grayson Springer in 6th, and Dustin Davidson 7th. Jake Erickson will be P8, Corbin Hazlett will be 9th, and Hunter Brady will be starting 10th. So 3 heats here today.
Indeed, so we have some big names teamed up in this first one. Rogers and Bergeron, the favorite. Cody Sidham, the hard charger, inside of row 2. Parker Leak, a newcomer. Schafer was quick during practice.
And Corbin Hazlett's continuing to have connection problems. He's had it since practice, so we'll see if he hangs around or if he'll just decide it's not his night to race so that he doesn't get in people's way.
You saw our overlay. You know that we're only going 8 laps and there are no yellow flags. The top 2 will advance. Right now, the odds-on favorite will be Rogers and Bergeron. Go ahead, Joe.
These cars are very tail-happy, Bill, so with no cautions, if you get turned around, that's really bad news.
All right, it's about time to go racing. Heat number 1, careful there. Cody Sidham trying to peek up on the inside of Brennan Rogers. Rogers will have none of that as he takes his number 30 down into the first corner. We saw him working the high side in practice. That's Alex Bergeron up top. He has a little bit of momentum. He pulls to the outside in third position at Sidham. Schafer in fourth, being challenged on the inside by Parker Leak. Leak gets fourth in the 22.
And Stidham's trying to take that second place away from Bergeron. He tipped the wall in 3. That slowed him up slightly, but it looks like he's recovered now, and he's got second place solidly, but he's moving down low.
Rogers goes low through 3 and 4. Let's see what he does through 1 and 2. Last time he was high through this corner, and he is again. Look at the run for Bergeron. There's just no place for him to put that number 4. Stidham is fast, but again, he's got to find a place to put it as he dives it down in there deep.
And fascinating that they're high in 1 and 2 and low in 3 and 4. So the banking must be behaving just a little bit differently between the two. My worry is the number 30 of Rogers. He's getting very, very close to those tires to the inside. Oh, and there he got one. I worried about that.
There's the number 4. Bergeron not able to make up any time there. Look at Stidham, though, right on them, waiting for any mistake. The front 3 run away. Schafer, Leak, and Davison. There's a nice little battle in the back. Let's go ahead and look at that one real quick as they battle in the very back. Mixing it up. Getting the best of that is the 14 car of Jake Harrison working the high side. Uh-oh, up front, taking a peek down inside was Sidham.
And now he's going to try that high line through 3 and 4 again, but it looks like Rogers is... Oh! Woo! Stidham tried the slide job, but he just wasn't quite there in time.
He has a big cushion back to the driver in fourth so he can play around a little bit. They are working on the white flag lap now. It is Rogers and Bergeron. Bergeron gets into Rogers a little bit. Hello! Bergeron wants that win. He bumps him again. It's going to be a race off of this final corner, but I think Rogers is in the best position. Once again, he remains undefeated in the heat. Bergeron also advances. Sidham will have to wait for the semi. Joe?
Yep, with him finishing third, Jonathan Schafer is behind him in fourth. Erickson gets P5, Davidson 6th, Hunter Brady 7th, Grayson Springer is cruising across in 9th. Leak was 8th, and then Hazlett apparently decided that it wasn't worth risking everybody. He's exited the server.
My goodness, that one was entertaining. Let's hope that the next heat can be just as entertaining. Brought to you by Factor One Chassis. Factor One Micro Sprint chassis have been providing an unfair advantage for over 30 years. For more information, go to factor1racing.com.
Corey Day is going to be starting on pole with Aiden Perdue in second. Logan Rumsey will be P3 next to Carson Batterby. Matt Moore starts fifth with Jet Barnes in sixth. Evan Spalding seventh. Kenny Miller eighth. And Matt Kaiser ninth. Bryce Lucius is gridding up. He will be the last of the 10 cars in this split.
Bryce Lucius probably a little farther back than we would expect. That's not the case for the drivers on the front row. Corey Day already with us. Main event win this season, and Aiden Perdue has 2 of those. They're your favorites to advance, but Logan Rumsey was fast in practice. That's in that fluorescent blue and yellow number 13 on the inside of row 2. And then always out there, one of the Batterby boys, it's Carson.
One more time around, then we'll see how these sort out. A reminder to our viewers that only the top 2 in these heats make it automatically to the feature, but everybody else still will be able to try and get into that feature, but they're going to have to race their way in through the semifinals.
The truck pulls in. Perdue will be in control of the field. Boy, the drivers have a nicely lined up formation. Look at the jump. Oh, a little bit of the jump, and then he had to back off. Was Perdue. Corey Day in control now. Nice job as the 41 is out in front. Perdue tried to time that one, and now he is in jeopardy of losing that transfer spot to the car down low of Logan Rumsey, that fluorescent number 13 down below. Not only looking for second, trying for the lead.
Oh, and that was a smart move by the 37 to just try and carry the speed off the corner, cover him off inside, and if he can get up high, I think he's going to be mostly safe. 13 is doing a great job of trying to challenge him for it, but I think that tip on the wall is going to cost him, and indeed, you can see how much he fell back.
Boy, 37, that is, Perdue was in jeopardy of losing the transfer spot, but he's in there now. Rumsey is still very quick. Boy, the number 9 car of Matt Moore made a dive for 4th position. It did not work for him. He's going to lose lots of time to Carson Batterby, who watches on from 4th. So much action, so little time. Day, Perdue, Rumsey, your top 3. Rumsey is not out of this, though.
I was going to say, if I'm Rumsey, I would be getting aggressive to try and get into that transfer spot. At this point, he's got no challenge from behind, so might as well hustle the car, see if you can do anything on the 37, and try and get yourself in automatically. Less hassle, less stress.
37 gets into the back, and Day a little bit. Day able to gather it up. They take alternate lines through corners 1 and 2. The high line for Perdue. A little more momentum now going into 3 and 4. Perdue tries to get underneath. Can he get a woad up and stay off of Day? He does. They come across the line. Day's still in front. 2 to go.
Got to be careful about how close they get to each other, because not only could you potentially turn your opponent, you could turn yourself by getting into them like that. And obviously that'll move you both down the order if you spin too far sideways.
White flag lap coming out. Not only are there more points for winning, there's prestige for winning the heat, but you also get a better gridding position when you get to the main event. Out of corner number 4, winning heat number 2, it's Corey Day. Aiden Perdue will also transfer.
3rd place goes to Rumsey. Just couldn't get the car fast enough to challenge for that second. Carson Batterby finishes 4th. Jet Barnes in 5th, and Matt Moore P6. Evan Spalding 7th. Matt Kaiser 8th. Kenny Miller 9th. And the last on the field will be Bryce Lucius. Bill?
The action never stops. We move to heat number 3, the final of our heats tonight. This one is sponsored by WR1 Sim Heats. Built by racers for racers. WR1 Sims are the choice of industry professionals like Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell. You want to know where to find them? WheelerMetals.com. Joe?
It's going to be Craig Swartz on the pole with Chase Randall starting second. Ryan Hergott will be P3, and then Colton Collins starts fourth. Inside of row 3 is Christopher Townsend, Chance Crum on his outside in 6th. Avery Goodman starts 7th, James Andrewchuk 8th. And since we had 29 drivers sign up, Brandon McCullum will make a 9-car field here for this last heat.
Greg Swartz, we don't know much about him. Hails out of the beautiful romantic city of New Paris, Ohio. The city of lights.
I doubt that.
No? Okay.
Not from the map I saw. Maybe a few half dozen lights. But...
City of light. All right. Craig will be fast. He sits in the O2 in that yellow machine. On the outside of him, car number 12, Chase Randall.
Almost had a jump start last time. Let's see if they get it sorted out a little more cleanly.
That one looks pretty nice. The O2 out in front. Little bumping and banging in the back. Everybody go, oh, going around is the 83 of Chance Crum. That's a big name. Chance Crum also gets drilled by Brandon McCullum. We're not going to have time to show you that because the action never stops in these heat races. But Chance Crum is not going to have much of a chance to make it into the main event unless he's really good in the semifinal. Schwartz, Randall, and Hergott.
And Hergott is really hustling the car. He bounced it off the wall coming across the start-finish line last time by. This time looked a little cleaner, but clearly he's trying to use every bit of the track as he just tips it in the curve.
Those 3 comfortably ahead of Colton Collins in 4th and Avery Goodman back there in 5th. Goodman just bangs it in the wall. That car is going nowhere. The excitement is all up front. Love that camera shot. They go underneath.
He kept on as so this battle for second for the transfer spot is definitely on, and Randall can't mess up. But I'm a little worried about Craig Swartz because I've been watching him, and much like we saw in the first heat, he is dipping right down close to those tires. He's going to turn himself if he's not careful.
Chase Randall falling them down low. They begin to distance themselves from Hergott. Nevertheless, 3rd place will get you a good spot in the semi. Different racing lines this time. It's the high line that time around for Randall.
Collins is starting to gain on Hergott, so well, he's fallen off by a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, 2.3 seconds up to the number 12 car.
Get the white flag for Swartz. They have the lap traffic to deal with. That is Christopher Townsend gets his car out of the way. Christopher, careful now. You got the man in second behind you there. He slides it up top. Coming around, getting the checker flag will be Craig Swartz. Second place goes to Chase Randall. Joe?
As I said, Ryan Hergott not going to make it. In fact, he almost loses out to Colton Collins, who's just behind him at the line. Avery Goodman finishes 5th. Andrewchuk 6th. Chance Crum 7th. And Townsend a lap down in 8th. Brandon McCullough had some technical problems. He unfortunately DNF'd that race.
All right, now we move to, I believe we're going to go right to a semi now. So we're going to go down to the Allgaier Performance Parts semi number 1. It's going to be the first of 2 semis, if I have this right.
Yep.
Your one-stop shop for everything high performance in the Midwest. Check them out on Facebook. Now, when you see the overlay, you will see that it says we will advance. We're going 10 laps. That one is correct. There are no yellow flags, but I think we're probably going to transfer more than, my guess would be 4.
I think that would be correct.
4 and 4 is 8. Yeah, plus the other 6 would give us a nice field.
Yeah. Anyways, Kobe Stidham will be starting in first with Ryan Hergott starting in second. Carson Batterby P3 and Jake Erickson starts fourth. Avery Goodman will be P5. Matt Moore will be P6. Then it's Hunter Brady on the inside of row 4 in 7th place. Chance Crum starts 8th. Matt Kaiser starts 9th. Grayson Springer 10th. And Brandon McCullough 11th. I don't see Springer out on the grid, though. I think he might not take the green for this one.
we're going to stick with our prediction that it is for the transfers. Sidham, Hergott, Batterby, and Ericsson right now in those transfer spots.
I'm seeing in iRacing, it's telling us 5 will go to the feature.
5? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Avery Goodman is happy with that. Although I don't see him grid up. The car number 43, he's in the transfer slot. He's not out there. Avery's still parked. Avery, wake up!
Oh, and he's left. So
I
think Avery is not going to be able to drive in the semi, and that makes it all the easier for these drivers to get through, but feel even worse if you don't make it.
Goodman's loss is Matt Moore's gain, as he now will be in the what will be the 5th position, although he'll still be on the inside of that row. So we'll see how this plays out. 10 laps. Again, no yellow flags. The pace car is in. Kobe Sidham racing out of Fresno. In control in his number 3. He gets a good jump. Oh, and he's going to bring along with him the car on the inside. That is Carson Batterby. He gets the jump on Ryan Hergott. Hergott was sleeping on the job.
And in fact, Hergott might lose out again, because look at on the low side, Hunter Brady is really making that low line work. Oh, but he goes in too hot. And he actually tips the car of Matt Kaiser. Kaiser goes completely around as the 5 even still goes to the back of the field.
Sidham, Batterby up in front. Hergott hanging on to 3rd. Ericsson and now Matt Moore in the transfer position. The big name to watch out for would be Chance Crum back in 6th. Oh, up front, look at this battle for the lead.
And it is an elbows out battle. Oh, into the wall for Stidham. Absolutely slapped it, and now he's tipping it once more. He's losing all his momentum. He could actually lose out on the transfer spot if he's not careful.
From 1st to 6th in the blink of an eye. Sneaking in is the 83 underneath him, but he's in a battle. That's Chance Crum. Watch the 83 up top.
Oh, and now
another
we've
driver
got,
with trouble. Hergott.
Yeah, unfortunately, just scraping up against the wall.
Batterby and Moore are comfortably 1 and 2. Jake Ericsson, Chance Crum, and Sidham. Sidham getting the best of Chance Crum right now. The leaders continue to fight for that one too. Action everywhere.
Oh, and Stidham got tipped around, but he saved it, and that's going to keep him within touch.
Moore gets a little bit of a tap on Batterby. They are 2 wide. Working with 2 to go. Batterby puts it in the wall. Now checks it up as he gets into almost in the side of Moore. And I correct myself. But remember, we're going 10 laps. We have 4 to go. The front 2 continue to race so close together.
Another little touch. You can get away with that here and there, but like I said, tail-happy cars, all you need is a little bit of a push and around you go.
Moore and Batterby, that settles down a little bit. Sidham holding on to 5th position. He's got a nice cushion on Hunter Brady. Brady won't be there for a while.
Amazingly, as hard as these 2 have been fighting, Bill, they've pulled a 1.5 second gap back to Ericsson.
Here's some momentum for Batterby as he takes it down low. Coming to the checkered flag, and it is it is Matt Moore who gets the win. Batterby will get 2nd.
Ericsson gets through, Chance Crum gets through, Hunter Brady gets through, but Matt Kaiser does not. He is at the end of his day in 6th. Kobe Stidham as well, 7th. Hergott 8th, and then 9th. Brandon McCullough and Avery Goodman 10th. Grayson Springer did not start this race.
Chance Crum was gridded in 8th. We told you to watch out for him, and he got to the transfer spot. We'll be seeing him in the A main. Time for the next semi, brought to you by Sharp Advantage, specializing in customized racing safety products of the highest quality. SharpAdvantageSafetyProducts.com. Joe?
On the pole, going to be Logan Rumsey for this last opportunity. Jonathan Schafer in second, and Colton Collins in third. Jet Barnes will be starting fourth. Dustin Davidson fifth behind him. Then in sixth, it'll be James Andrechuk with Evan Spalding on the inside of the next row in seventh. Parker Leak starts eighth. Christopher Townsend ninth, and Kenny Miller 10th. Corbin Hazlett looks like he is not here since he has decided to leave because of his internet connection. He would have been 11th. And Bryce Lucius will start this race at the end of the field. What was 12th now becomes 11th.
Logan Ramsey getting dangerously close to getting into trouble as he passed the pace truck. The final of our two semis. 5 will advance. 5 from this semi, 5 from the other semi makes 10. Add those to the 2 each from the 3 heats, and that gives you a main of 16 drivers.
I believe that's what they. Yeah, that's what they aim for each time is 16 cars in the finale. It's
like an SAT problem. Logan Rumsey on the inside of the 91 of Schafer. Don't know a lot about Jonathan Schafer. Let's see what he can do. Time to go racing. Last chance, last dance, not to love, but for advance. Logan Rumsey out in front.
Already we got cars banging around really hard. Jeff Barnes got involved with it. Dustin Davidson, both were able to keep going. But behind them, I believe Miller and Bryce Lucius had a horrible time getting turned around.
It's Rumsey and Schafer, but my goodness, the battle back going around is the 29 of Dustin Davidson. He's all together. This is going to be who can survive. I think that's a transfer spot, and stealing the spot now is Bryce Lucius.
Andrechuk is out of the race, and I believe Jet Barnes as well. In fact, Jet Barnes, though, is on his side, and he's still out on track.
Barnes drifts down. Everybody gets around him. Bryce Lucius has made it into the transfer spot. We are up on the leader now of Logan Rumsey as he works lap number 4. Miles ahead of his competition. Battle for second between Collins and Townsend. Townsend now in the best of. There they are.
It's the closest fight we've got. The transfer spot is pretty far apart between Lucius and Davidson. Davidson's a whole 1.5 seconds back, but with 6 laps to go, he could still run that down depending on his pace.
Lucius was gridded in last. He just sat back there, and when the chaos was in front of him, he said thank you very much to the crowd, and he moved up to that 5th spot. Going to earn a lot of hard charger points for that one. All this going on behind Logan Rumsey, who's opened up a 2.2, which is virtually, there's no description to it. It's like from California to New Mexico, the gap he has.
At this point, Rumsey only has to cruise. He's able to advance. Now, he's going to be pretty far at the back, of course, so he's not going to have a fun time towards the start of the feature, but as long as you're in the feature, that's what matters.
The real battle will be if Dustin Davidson can get up to Bryce Lucius. Really the only thing we worry about, though, but with only 2 laps to go as they come into the starting stand this time around. Don't know if there's enough time for Davidson to get there. No real battles out on the track anywhere. Logan Rumsey going to be looking at the white flag this time by. Can almost make a pit stop and still win this race. 3 seconds ahead of his nearest competition of Christopher Townsend. Through 3 out of 4. Winning the final semi, Logan Rumsey. Joe.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be Christopher Townsend bringing it home in second. Colton Collins gets through. Jonathan Schafer grabs 4th. And Bryce Lucius is your last driver to make it into the big show from 5th place. Davidson, Spalding, Barnes, Andrechuk, Leak, Miller, and Hazlett are the ones that have ended their day.
Another Ohio driver, Bryce Lucius, the 12-year-old out of Findlay, gets the transfer position. All right, all the preliminaries are out of the way. This is why we came. It's the Hergod Real Estate Group A mains serving the greater Indianapolis area. They specialize in helping racers find the home or shop of their dreams. Joe, who's the front?
Up on the pole for the big show, it's going to be Brennan Rogers with Corey Day starting next to him in second. Craig Swartz, newcomer, gets himself in third with Alex Bergeron starting fourth. Aiden Perdue will be P5. The outside of row 3 has Chase Randall. Matt Moore starts in seventh with Logan Rumsey in eighth. Carson Batterby starts ninth, and Christopher Townsend will be 10th. Bill?
Final 6 drivers. Jake Erickson, Colton Collins, Chance Crum, who we saw make it in. He's in the Baker's Dozen spot. Jonathan Schafer. The last row is populated by Hunter Brady, did that again. And Bryce Lucius in the Sweet 16 spot, all ribbons and curls.
Those last few semis were kind of messy, Bill. I wonder if we're going to be seeing some more yellows out here for this feature, because these drivers really need to clean things up if they want to get a few green flag laps in out of these 30.
Your overall point leader up in front, Brendan Rogers, but the guy who has been quick and impressive is Corey Day. Keep an eye on the 41. Swartz is the newcomer we don't know much about. Not the case for Alex Bergeron. He sits outside of him in that fluorescent number 4 machine. Sponsored by CSI. All the big names are here. We'll see how this plays out. Brendan Rogers is 7 for 7 in heats. Already has several main event wins, and he's now in control. 30 is out in front. Look at this battle. Yeah.
Longer race too, so this track is going to evolve a lot more. There's a lot more cars on it, so it'll happen quickly. Oh, we're already getting a problem.
Corey Day got tied up with Swartz. Swartz gets tied up with the number 4 of Bergeron. Once again, more bad luck for Bergeron as he goes around. Yellow flag.
And unfortunately, it looks like we've lost Bergeron. I wonder if he got hit just right, that maybe he got too much damage.
Joe.
It'd be a shame, because usually these are pretty hardy cars that can keep going. Might have meatballed him just by being touched in the suspension in the most specific of ways.
They were coming from all angles. Yeah, as you look at that angle there, that car doesn't look real healthy. Very lopsided.
Well, these cars are always lopsided looking, if I'm honest.
All right. Brendan Rogers out in front. Corey Day, I'm telling you, watch out for him. This will be a single file restart. Aiden Perdue at second in the points. He's worked up a few positions. Swartz getting to learn all the drivers here as he sits in fourth. Chase Randall in fifth. We're going to go around one more time.
There's only 15 of the 16 left, so that's one down. You said on the last race it could be a case of who survives, and I wonder if that sort of attrition-style racing will take place here as well.
We talked about the top 5. Back half of your top 10, Matt Moore, Logan Rumsey, Carter Batterby, Jake Erickson, and Chance Crum. Crum started in 13th, continues to work his way through the field like he did in the semis, up into 10th. Time to go racing. It's the Camarillo Cannonball. Brendan Rogers out in front. Corey Day in second. Perdue watching it. Look at that yellow car. That's Craig Swartz, the newcomer of the 02, trying to find his way around Perdue.
It was awful close, but it's a little early on this restart. It's probably better to just do what they're doing. Oh, and they've already got a yellow. This one's got Christopher Townsend involved.
Yeah, the front 9 or 10 were all nicely strung out. This must have happened a little farther back.
Well, I'd say the number 6 discovered exactly what I was warning about. You get too low into the corner, and watch this. Boom.
There you go.
Right into that tire.
Looking at that car, it's not looking real good right now. Might be time for a hammer and some butter, because that car is crabbing. But is he going to stay out? Maybe so.
think Bryce Lucius may be trying to get some repairs or maybe serve a penalty or something as he's come into the pit lane. Everybody else is managing to keep going. And that could bring us down to 14 potentially. Up, looks like Lucius has been able to rejoin.
He's coming back out. There's the number 32. The youngster from Ohio. Okay. We're going to go around one more time, then we'll be going green here next time around. These yellow flags do count.
And we're already 1/3 through the race, Bill, so this is not good if we can't get it going for a little bit. We might have more yellow than we have green effectively here.
30 laps gets you to the end. Brendan Rogers is fast, but he'd like to show how fast he is out there and win this one with a lot of green flag wraps. Corey Day looking for an opportunity. All right, here we go, working lap number 10. There is a battle for second. That's Day on the top side. Purdue tries to go down below, not going to work. More bumping and banging. The yellow car is Swartz looking on for fourth with Randall in fifth.
Purdue looks really strong, though, if I'm honest. He is thinking about things. He's keeping his nose in there and making the 41 sweat, which is probably all he can do right now. You can see how single file the racing's gotten around here.
Boy, they are in a string. A little bit of a lost momentum from Swartz as he loses time. Chase Randall trying to get a spot, but again, they are single file.
And a caution. I think Hunter Brady involved in this one, but it looks like it happened a little bit in front of him. Kind of a chain reaction.
Might have started with Christopher Townsend, maybe, or
Jake Erickson, it looks like.
yeah, Jake Erickson in the 14th.
He just got a little too sideways, slowed it up, nearly hit by Schafer. Then Collins got into him, and poor Hunter Brady was the last in line to just plow into that mess. Townsend and Lucius managed to sneak through, it looks like.
That's Schafer on the low side that gets hit, but he goes through, and then they all pile in from there. Come back live, so Schafer finds himself in 10th position after avoiding all of that nonsense. No passing up front, but Joe was right. Purdue looked good. Would like to take a stab at Corey Day if he could.
I think if anybody has a chance at maybe trying to get up there and challenge Rogers, who's certainly been pretty flawless today, I'd say it's Aiden Purdue.
Purdue trails him by 33 points in the standings, and right now by the car of Corey Day, which is between him and the man he is chasing. Corey Day says, hey, I'm fourth place on that overlay as well. I got just as good a chance to get this championship. So 3 drivers up front, all in the top 5. Not the case for Craig Swartz. He's fast. Chase Randall we've seen all season back there in the number 12.
You mentioned Chance Crum needing to do a little bit better to try and get through. Well, he got through, but he's still down in 8th. The 83's been having a tough time trying to get his way up to the front.
Going racing! Working lap number 16, your point leader. Brennan Rogers. Corey Day, Aiden Purdue, your top 3. A little bit of blinking going on from Swartz. He locks it in now. The 0-2 trying to see what he can do on Purdue. That yellow car back there in 4th. In 5th is Chase Randall. Single file most of the way through.
The only car trying high right now is the number 13 of Logan Rumsey. And though, well, it was working for a bit, now it's starting to fall off slightly as he gets into the clutches of Crum.
Yeah.
And he
Rumsey
comes right back down to the bottom.
Yeah, you talked about Crum working the play. If Rumsey's going to leave the door open, the 83, a chance Crum is going to take it. Single file in front of him. Best racing right now is back here in this battle.
Hunter Brady and Bryce Lucius get together into one.
Again, these guys were at the back of the train. Now, as much as I appreciate competition, when you're the last two cars out on track, you will appreciate you guys having fun, but if you keep the cars going in the right direction.
Certainly raising a few tempers out there. These are proving to be pretty difficult, which is interesting. I would have expected people to be getting more angry at the Chili Bowl where it's tighter confines. But it seems like it's just so tough to pass here in these cars when the track gets this dry.
Two-thirds of the way
laps
through.
Left, yeah. We're both looking at the same thing, Bill.
Yeah.
It's time's running out to do anything here.
Which is really too bad for Corey Day and Aiden Perdue, who might have something for Rogers, but they're just not given a chance to put anything together. Maybe the restart is their best opportunity, but boy, Rogers has been really good. The Camarillo Cannonball. Number 30, Brennan Rogers, out in front. Nobody for that cannonball to roll over right now, so he's got clear track in front of him. We're going racing.
Perdue got a
number
great
22.
jump on that one. He nearly got inside of the 41.
Gives Day a little bit of a tap. Wouldn't be surprised if we see another one. The battle is for second position. Rogers, smooth as dolphins, get out in front of him.
Doesn't want to give him too much of a tap. If you cause another caution, that's less
Another
laps
tap.
that you can get
Another
by.
tap.
Tay keeps it straight. Oh, but
Yeah,
he
he's
is
gonna lose
way
it.
down the order.
Loses a ton of positions.
Oh, now he gets turned around.
And the caution is out.
Yeah, Corey Day, in trying to collect the car, had Carson Battery breathing down his neck, and unfortunately, Battery just turned on.
Boy. Poor Corey Day. 13-year-old out of Clovis, California. Might need to call Child Protective Services on that one. That little bit of child abuse there. My gosh, they were mean to Corey.
Yeah, that puts him back in 14th. Last of the cars still running with 6 laps to go. I'd say that Day is out of the opportunity to take the victory today, Bill.
Yep. I heard you. All right, so what does that mean up front? Well, it does kind of spice this up a little bit as you have the guys who are number 1 and number 2 in the points, Rogers and Perdue. Perdue is considerably back, 33 points. He needs to make something happen. He cannot continue to finish behind Rogers every event. Swartz, the newcomer now in that yellow machine, up into 3rd, blinking a little bit for me. Not sure if he's blinking for you as well. Randall and now Matt Moore up into 5th.
I still suspect that the 37 has a good shot at the win with as aggressive as he's been driving. I think that the 30 really needs to watch his mirrors.
And Chance Crum, number 83, has worked his way up from 13th up into 7th. The pace truck going around one more time. Rogers gets working lap number 27. When the truck comes in, he'll get to race 28, 29, and 30.
And if they get another caution, Bill, that will end the race. So
They're not going to. It's not going to happen.
I love your optimism.
I'm talking to Colton Collins and Christopher Townsend and Bryce Lucius. All right, here we go. 3 to go.
Aiden was,
go ahead, Joe.
he was right on top of him on the restart. He was almost touching him, just waiting to see when he would go. And it got him a good restart, but not quite good enough.
Perdue trying the middle line. He's going to get a pretty good run here. Can he get to the outside? No, but he continues to try to be fast. Where are they 8? This is interesting. He moves up on the outside. Now he's halfway there.
Oh, he's found
Going
something.
in the straight there, side by side. The 37 is happy where he is. He's He's got a good drive here. They hit, they bump, they bang. Who's going to be able to get it? They're both in the wall. It opens the door up for the fluorescent yellow machine of Craig Swartz. Thank you very much. Logan Rumsey up in front. We stay green. Rumsey in a battle for second. Coming off, getting the win. Swartz. Craig Swartz and Matt Moore gets, I think.
And that
second.
all happened because you can't get cautions on the final lap in iRacing. I wondered, I was watching closely to see if they were going to reach the line with the way they were coming together like that, and I think they just made it before either of them got turned around.
So when we review, that's what we'll maybe can take a look at the replay. Are we able to get the contact from replay of that last one before we go to break of Rogers and
I'd like to see that too, yeah.
Aiden Purdue getting together as they were battling for the lead? We'll see if we can call this one up for you.
So what I think happened here is Purdue likes that middle line right now. He's found some grip in it. And you can see he's trying to stick with that middle line and power off the corner. But the car below that he's battling, Brennan Rogers, wants to drift up to try and carry his speed. What would essentially be kind of like a slide job. He can't do that because there's a car there. That's, you see, they tangle.
Well, that was a good one. Okay, as we come back live, what we're going to do is take a short break. We will come back to run down the entire finishing order of this main event. Talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Don't go far. From the dirt track at Charlotte, it's the Global Sim Racing Channel's Round 8 coverage of the CSI Shocks Spring Season Championship. The results are in. Let's give those to you now. 16 drivers took to the A main. I'll take the top 8. The newcomer, Craig Swartz, shows up, makes his debut, and gets the win. Thank you very much. As the two drivers that were leading in front of him got together, and Swartz vultures the win. Matt Moore takes second. Logan Rumsey is third. Chance Crum, we talked about him. He had to struggle to get into the main event. Once he got here, he was girded in 13th. He comes home in 4th. What a night for Crum. Chase Randall gets 5th. Brendan Rogers is going to finish ahead of his rival, Aiden Purdue. Those are the two drivers who got together. They finished 6th and 7th, so Purdue able to pick up no ground in the points. And Jonathan Schafer gets 8th. Joe?
9th is Carson Batterby with Colton Collins finishing 10th. Christopher Townsend, unfortunately, all the way down in 11th. Bryce Lucius finishes 12th, and Jake Erickson, the last car in the lead lap, at 13th. Then you've got Corey Day, Hunter Brady, and Alex Bergeron rounding out your field. Bill?
All right, I think I have the pleasure of getting to talk to our race winner. That would be Craig Swartz. Craig, do you have a copy? And he's here. He's just not able to get his microphone working yet. Give him another second. There we go. We got you. Hey, congratulations on that win. Sometimes Christmas comes early.
Yeah, no joke. I didn't know those guys were getting pretty close there the lap before, and then they got into each other. I just tried to avoid.
You were really fast in practice. How did the track change between those early heats and then the main event?
Well, the heat races is I don't know. I race here a lot with my buddies in the late models, and we always end up running the top 1 and 2, bottom 3 and 4. So I was pretty used to that, even though it's kind of different when you get the official races on here. But it was fun, and then the feature was kind of heavy, so it was just just had to run the bottom as hard as you could, just charge the corner and just hold it down. Just try not to get too high off your line, or else somebody's gonna stick your nose underneath you.
Now, we've been saying this is your debut race. With the season is 8 rounds in. Have you raced with us before? Have I just missed what you've done?
No. I joined 2 or 3 weeks ago, I believe, and I'm in college right now, so I've just been finishing finals, and I actually moved houses, so I've just been busy the past couple of weeks, and this is my first week that I was able to come in and race.
So you're not in New Paris anymore? Not living in New Paris, Ohio?
No, actually, that's actually my hometown. I moved to Indianapolis to go to IPY. I study motorsports engineering over there. It's the only school in the nation with a 4-year degree in it. So I moved over here 5 years ago, and then I've been living here ever since. I live over by the fairgrounds in Indianapolis.
That is some great information. We got to find that out about you. Hey, congratulations on getting the win. Hope to see you here as the season closes out.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for putting it on. It was fun tonight.
There you go. Joe, he's getting his degree in racing engineering. Gotta love that.
I would have loved that as a kid for sure, but we've got 3rd place Logan Rumsey with us, and Logan seems to have paid attention to how things were playing out, because it looked like you mostly just managed to avoid all the chaos in front of you.
Yeah, I was not the fastest car at all, just trying to survive there, but the track was kind of one lane around the bottom. I was trying to top the whole race, and it finally came in at the end. I was passing Matt Moore for 5th, and then they all started junking it, and I just got my way through.
Do you do anything special to try and kind of feel what's coming with those incidents to avoid them, or is it all by instinct? What's your thought process usually?
I just try not to make dumb moves and stick my car where I'm going to get destroyed at.
Well, it certainly seems to have worked well to get you up to a podium tonight. Is there anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank Simworks Performance, Hyper Racing, and CSI Shocks for letting me in this league, and everyone that practiced with me today.
That was Logan Rumsey, 3rd place finisher here, Bill, and I think that's great advice to go by in racing. Try not to make dumb moves.
12-year-old racing out of Manchester, Pennsylvania, a man wise beyond his years.
And I'm not even joking. That's actually good advice. Yeah.
There's a lot of 40 years old that could learn from him. Hey, let's go ahead and thank everybody that made this possible. GSRC would like to thank the sponsors, especially the series sponsor, which is CSI Shocks, for making this broadcast a reality. On screen now are just some of the equipment and software used to stream cyberspace into your place. Additional thanks to June Lalonde, who provides our iconic music. See the screen to how to get a hold of more of her great work. Sliding across your... Oh, I'm sorry. The CSI Shocks spring season returns in 1 week. That'll be May 22nd for 410 Wing Sprint Cars from where else? Eldora. GSRC will be there. We hope you join us. Sliding across your screen right now are some of the upcoming GSRC broadcasts, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. If you'd like more information about GSRC, visit globalsimracingchannel.com. Here's our social media links: Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Hey, if you haven't done so yet, become a YouTube subscriber by hitting that big red button so you don't miss a thing from GSRC. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Joe, Sean, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching as Craig Swartz makes his series debut and picks up the win here at Charlotte. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.